Hello to all my single sassy mummies. How you doing out there today? Hopefully you're having an amazing day so far. So I think we're on to tip number 5 now. Tip number 5 of how I've used dating advice to improve my parenting and make it easier. So this tip is whatever they do is what you do. And firstly, let me do a disclaimer as well. All of this advice that I'm getting from are from the likes of Shira Seven, The Pink Pill, Chanel, Ziva. Who else? There's so many women out there that they have become my surrogate auntie, sisters, and mothers. And this is where I'm getting a lot of the advice from. I will leave a list down below and some videos. So, um, there's times you've been in a relationship, you've been with a guy, and they're just switching up their behavior. Maybe they're taking longer to message you back, they're not getting you as many gifts, they're not taking you to as many nice places. They're just changing up, even with how they speak to you. Like they're getting disrespectful, they're not treating you the way they used to. And I had to use this in terms of my teenage son who now just wants to be in his own world. So, this is especially for mums with teenagers or getting to that teenage age and they're just changing up. They no longer want to hold your hand, they no longer want to talk to you, they no longer want to cuddle you, they no longer want you in their room. There's so many things they no longer want. And as a mum, I didn't realize how painful it would feel. It really does feel like when you're in a relationship with someone and they're just starting to switch it up and go distant and just, something is going on. And that's how it feels. And at first, it was really hard for me to deal with it. And then obviously, I listened to my lovely aunties and sisters on YouTube, and I'm like, you know what? If this boy no longer wants to spend time with me, that's okay. I no longer want to spend time with him. If he no longer wants to hug me, I no longer want to hug him. And again, saying it out loud, I sound like a very petty parent, but I'm telling you, it works. So, the example I was given earlier with your partner, let's say, for example, your partner's gone out and you've said to him, okay, can you make sure you're back by a certain time because I've got this planned for us? And he doesn't do that. He doesn't come back at that time. He doesn't even text you and tell you, okay, I can't make it for this time because me and the boys have ended up going here, there, everywhere, whatever. He could have just been more considerate. So the next time you go out, you can even say to him, you know what, I'm going to be back at this certain time and we are going to do A, B, C, and D an extra F2. And then don't come back. Don't tell him anything. If he's texting you, call you, ignore it. And so I thought, okay, if that's what I would do in a relationship, how can I use this now with my son as well? So now, when he comes back from school, he likes to just go straight to his room. That's fine with me because you know what? I'll go to my room too. I make sure that I'm doing something for myself, whether it's pampering myself, watching a movie. And when he wants to come and then have a little playtime with me, I'm like, no, sorry, Kai, I'm busy. Can you wait until later? And so there have been times where he's been like, oh, okay, because I never used to be like that. As soon as he would come back and give me a little bit of attention, I'd be like, come to me, my baby, come back, rest in my bosom. But I'm like, no, the same way you treat me is how I'm going to treat you. So there's been times where I've been like, oh, Kai, let me give you a kiss on the cheek. And he's like, like, I feel so rejected. I'm like, okay, I'll remember that. And I do remember it. So when he's like, Mummy, let me give you a kiss on the cheek, I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want a kiss right now. You can give me a kiss later on when I'm ready. And he'll look at me like, but I wanna. And I'm like, no, remember that time you didn't want to give me a kiss? Well, the same way you treat me is how I'm going to treat you. And I think this is actually really good for your children as well. Because they have to realize, yes, you are their mother, but you are still a person. You are still you. And we are always going to be just that parent to our child until maybe they get older and they're looking at us in a different light. Sorry. yeah, until they're looking at us in a different light and see us as people and human beings and normal people that have the same feelings, have the same wants as them, they will just put us in this box of parents, and they just always expect you to act and do things a certain way. And sometimes with your kids, you need to change it up. And I've even had to teach my mum this because my mum, she doesn't live in London, so she only sees the grandkids like once, twice a year. And sometimes they are mean to her. And even now that they're all getting older and becoming teenagers, they don't want to spend time with her the same way like they used to. So I've had to say to my mum, you know what, mummy? If Malachi doesn't want to do these things with you, then just say okay and then do it yourself. And then when there's certain things that you don't want to do, you tell him as well you don't want to do it. Just because you're his grandmother, it doesn't mean you have to bend over backwards and do things for him. So the same way Kai treats you, you treat him. He goes through his phases where he doesn't want to pick up his phone, he doesn't want to answer her text messages. So you know what? Sometimes when he messages and calls you, don't pick it up, don't respond. Like, and at first she was like, oh no, Sarah, you shouldn't be like that. Nah, 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 nah. But then she got it because now she even does it to me. So when we're speaking on the phone, she's like, okay, I'm going to go now. I'm watching a movie. I'm being like you. And I'm like, good, good. Enjoy your movie. If you're doing something else, prioritize it. Because trust me, if I'm watching a good show, I am not entertaining this conversation right now. I am fully selfish in my me time. So that is the lesson number 5 right there. However your kids are treating you, treat it was going so well. However your kids are treating you, treat them the same way back. Obviously within reason. Let's not be totally ridiculous out here. But yeah, if your kids want to be disrespectful and they don't want to do simple things that you've asked them to do, then same way when they want to ask you to do simple things, you don't do it. Because if they can't treat you a certain way, why should you treat them a certain way? Obviously, there's certain things we have to do for our kids, and that counselor guy that I watch, he made a really good video about that. So I'll leave that below as well. But yeah, don't let your kids walk all over you. Don't let no one walk all over you. Friends, man, family, whoever it is, however people treat you, treat them the same way back and teach people how to treat you. I think that should be number 6. But anyway, we'll leave that there. As always, be the best that you can be, and I'll be back again with another video. Bye. Oh, don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Only if you want to.